All right, let's go straight to the people. We'll try to mix in some Lions. I know Rico and I have thoughts on Jonathan Smith getting hired at State. At press conferences tomorrow. Michigan going to be the mainstay. The Lions stuff, I can give you the Cliff Notes. It's very simple. If Sunday doesn't go well, if they're in this, I don't know, this lethargy they've been in, the panic would start. If they go take care of business, do what they got to do, go on the road business trip, pound the rock, do what Atlanta did yesterday, we're good. But one thing is certain. One thing is clear for me. I don't speak for princess privilege.
Wow.
This team is not
emasculated. Wow.
This team is not the Niners, and they are not the Eagles. And any of the conversation about that one seed, any of the Super Bowl or Ooper Say Old Bay talk, you got to leave it. Your goal is exactly back to where we were all winter, spring, and summer that Kenny and I manifested it.
Win the division, home playoff game.
That's it. Because you are not those teams. And if you are going to haul your team off to the gulag for the crime of simply not being privileged, not being Rico, or not being the Eagles.
Can we stop with the strays, okay? Stick to the Lions, okay? I don't need to take strays for this.
If your crime is not being San Francisco or Philly, then it's a lot like being a Michigan fan who's continually aggrieved. If you're going to just sit here and pound your team because you're not those two, then what enjoyment do you take out of this?
See, I think saying what you said, except for the strays that you threw my way, it's one of those that I think both things can be true. I think you can go down to New Orleans, you'll handle your business there, but I am concerned about the upcoming game.
Panicked.
I'm not going to be panicked. I'm concerned about the upcoming games because the guaranteed W I thought you were going to have against the Broncos, they're actually pretty good all of a sudden.
They've won 5 in a row somehow, and no one can figure out how.
So they're games that are being, and then let's hope that the weather warms up to about 70 when you travel to Chicago. So that golf doesn't
70.
Golf doesn't have to play in the cold.
Oh, he's tiny hands again.
I am not going to allow that until I see the New Orleans game.
New Orleans in a dome.
I just, listen, the way they've played the last 2 weeks. So that's the Cliff Notes while we handle a lot of the Michigan stuff. Let's go to Mike, 97.1. Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Not much. I consider myself a fairly sane Michigan fan, so I can totally get it. Like, probably against Georgia, maybe Bama, maybe Oregon, we'd have a tough time. But I just want to make a comment on your idea that the last 3 games were evidence of how important sign stealing was. The difference between this year's game, the Ohio State game, and the last 2 years was 3 drives ended in field goals instead of touchdowns for Michigan. And that's a function of their offensive line not being as good and the fact that Ohio State has not only better defense, but they had a better scheme. They didn't run cover 0 the whole game like they did last year. That's why they had 5 big plays. Ohio State hasn't given up 1 big play all year, not 1 over 40 yards against any other team. And I'll just finish it with, tell me what game this year would have been the difference with signals versus non-signals in this tomato can conference.
None.
And in the last games,
none.
They didn't have
you never needed to do it. My whole point is, if you're calling me saying we didn't need to do it, well, why did you do it? Like, I'm not the one who brought it up, Mike. When I'm gonna deal with wackos who want to say that, well, this absolves us. No, it doesn't. And the whole point is, when a caller calls up getting all upset about it, not you, you're normal, but a guy calls up and I go, all right, so what was the difference between the games? You didn't have these magical calls the moment Jim Knowles decided to dial it up. You didn't have 5 plays for 382. Why? Well, part of that is, yes, a changing game plan. But, Mike, if there's value in doing it, that's one thing. If you're saying there's no value, then my response is simple. Why did you ever engage in it? You were Barry Bonds. You guys are an awesome football team.
No, hey, Mike, I get it from that standpoint. I just know every team does it. And the fact is, you can't even tell me how they broke it. Because using guys with iPhones, I could film a game on the iPhone, put it on YouTube, and Connor Stallions could have pulled it off of there. Show me how that was even a violation, but that's for another day, right?
Well, it's easy. Okay, see, Mike, see, here's what we're not going to go back to. You no longer get to say you didn't break a rule. You did. Do you know how I know this? Because your amicus brief got flushed down the toilet faster than Kenny's dinner last night. The court threw that thing out with prejudice. You did these things. The evidence was presented to you. Remember when you were going to fight it tooth and nail? What happened? Please, can we not do this? Can you just enjoy winning the Big Ten?
Yeah.
What?
And if this was the case, then why is Connor and all of the buddies that he talked about, half of them aren't here?
What happened to Connor's due process?
Yeah.
What about Partridge's due? Why would Partridge destroy evidence for something that had no effect?
And tell people not to talk? Come on, man.
Just leave it alone. You're calling Everybody in and getting me to talk about it. No, everyone doesn't do this. Just, guys, I know out there in listener land, you're listening and agreeing with me on this. You're not zany like some of these people. Mike David, claims he's normal, and right then he goes nuts.
Right there. David, I know that they are sane Michigan fans, and these people do not speak for them. Okay? Kenny, give me some better Michigan fans, because this can't be what they're really thinking about. No. I refuse to believe this. Michigan fans, I know you're out there, the same ones.
Right.
You need to pick up the phone. You need to represent.
You can use the Odyssey.com rewind. It's caller Bill, hour 1. He wanted to go there saying, well, see, it's proof we didn't cheat because we beat them. No, you never needed to cheat. But the data suggests analytically it matters. And now we're looking at post-Stallions. Oh, look at that. I'm surviving against Maryland. Oh, look. Kyle McCord has the football with a chance to beat me. You want to chalk that up to Jim Knowles?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Stop.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee you're beating the spread, even though the spread doesn't matter.
The whole point is you won, and you did it on the up. But see,
it was a good game.
I'll say it again. I didn't create Michigan versus everybody. You did. So you don't get to do what you just did. That's not Michigan versus everybody. Close ranks. Stop caring. Enjoy the ride. Don't go to Indy because that's a waste of money. Book your ticket for
either the Rose Bowl or the Sugar Bowl.
Right. Book some refundable tickets and go to the playoff.
Yeah, that would be my thing is.
No one's telling you not to do that. You know what I'm telling you not to do? Waste my effing time with your tinfoil hat theories. You did this stuff, and the NCAA is going to hammer you.
Because David,
let it be.
Yeah, David, I would say, am I being presumptuous to tell fans, book tickets to both places 100%. Now? Make sure they're refundable. But I promise you, if you wait another week, you can't afford them. Book them right now.
And enjoy it. Who cares what the NCAA does down the line? You have to let go. No one in America is going to believe in anything you're doing but you. So close ranks and enjoy it. Stop looking for validation. Mm-hmm. No one's here to help you because it's everyone versus you, right? Just please. I came in a good mood today.
You're still going to be in a good mood.
I am. I mean, we got a lot going on.
And that's why I say I just think that we hit the bottom of the chili pot with some Michigan fans who still want the validation instead of we came out and said they were great. Mike,